Lyra walked slowly along the cobblestone path that wound its way through the hills. The evening was quiet, painted in silver light by the rising moon. Above her, the stars shimmered like lanterns hung high in the heavens, each one glowing gently as if keeping watch over the world below. The soft rustling of leaves blended with the steady rhythm of her footsteps, creating a soothing harmony that followed her through the night. She carried no burden, only a small satchel at her side, and her cloak trailed lightly against the ground. Lyra had been wandering since the early evening, drawn by the glow she had seen from afar, the faint twinkle of lanterns in what she believed to be a hidden village. Her heart was calm, her pace unhurried, as though the very air encouraged her to slow down, to savor the moment. After a gentle climb, the path opened to a wide view. Nestled in the valley below lay a village bathed in moonlight. Thatched roofs glowed softly under the pale sky, and lanterns flickered along narrow streets. A faint sound of water drifted from somewhere within, like the murmur of a stream weaving through the homes. Smoke rose lazily from chimneys, carrying the scent of wood fires and herbs into the cool night air. Lyra smiled faintly, knowing she had found a place of rest. The village was called Eldenmere, though Lyra did not yet know its name. It was said to be touched by gentle magic, a place where dreams and waking life blended quietly together. She descended the path, each step slower than the last, as if her body already felt the comfort waiting below. At the village gates, she paused. The wooden archway was wrapped in vines, their leaves glowing faintly as though kissed by starlight. Beyond, she saw narrow lanes lined with flowers, their petals swaying softly in the night breeze. She stepped through, and immediately the quiet rhythm of the place surrounded her. A cat with silver fur slipped across her path, pausing to meet her eyes before vanishing into the shadows. Somewhere nearby, a lute played a soft, slow tune, each note drifting like a feather through the air. Lyra walked slowly down the main lane, noticing every detail. The houses were small and warmly lit, each with shutters open just enough to let lantern light spill onto the cobblestones. Herbs hung from wooden beams, filling the air with scents of lavender, sage, and rosemary. She passed a baker's shop where bread still rested in woven baskets, its crust golden and fragrant even at this hour. The sound of gentle laughter drifted from an open window, low and comforting, like the hum of a lullaby. She stopped at a small square in the center of the village. A fountain stood there, its waters catching the moonlight and scattering it in soft silver ripples. Benches circled the fountain, and on one of them sat an elderly man in a cloak, his staff resting at his side. He lifted his eyes when he saw her and smiled, a smile that spoke of kindness and welcome. "Traveler," he said in a voice that carried both strength and peace, "you've come to Eldenmere. You are safe here." Lyra bowed her head slightly in thanks, though no words were needed. The man returned his gaze to the fountain, and she moved on, her heart warmed by the simple kindness. She continued exploring the village slowly, savoring every corner. Narrow alleys led her to hidden courtyards where ivy crept along the walls and lanterns glowed softly above carved wooden doors. In one courtyard, she found a garden filled with night-blooming flowers, their petals shimmering faintly as if dusted with moonlight. She leaned closer, breathing in their scent, and felt her entire body grow lighter, as though the flowers themselves whispered calm into her spirit. A stream wound gently through the village, and she followed it, listening to the soothing murmur of water against stone. Tiny bridges crossed it here and there, each one decorated with carvings of leaves, stars, or animals. On one bridge, she lingered, leaning against the railing to watch the water. Fireflies drifted above the stream, their golden lights reflecting in the ripples below. She watched them for a long time, her mind drifting with the current. Further along, she came upon a small tavern. Its door was open and a soft glow spilled into the street. Inside, a few villagers sat quietly, sipping from wooden cups, their voices hushed. A musician strummed slowly at his lute, the notes blending with the crackle of a fire in the hearth. Lyra stepped inside, and immediately the warmth embraced her. The innkeeper greeted her with a nod and a smile, and without words offered her a seat near the fire. She sat, feeling the heat of the flames on her hands, the soft cushion beneath her, the faint creak of the wooden chair. The lute continued its gentle melody, each note carrying her deeper into calm. She did not speak, and no one spoke to her. It was not silence, but something softer, an unspoken welcome, a recognition that here in Eldenmere words were rarely needed. After a time, Lyra rose and thanked the innkeeper with a quiet bow. She stepped back into the night, the air cool and sweet after the warmth of the tavern. The village seemed even quieter now, as though it too had grown drowsy. She wandered further, guided only by the soft glow of lanterns. At the edge of the village, she found a small stone bridge leading to a meadow beyond. She crossed it slowly, feeling the cool stone beneath her boots, and entered a wide field where the grass swayed gently under the moon. The meadow was dotted with wildflowers that glowed faintly in the silver light. In the distance, she saw the outline of an old tower, its stones worn but still strong. Drawn by curiosity, she walked toward it. The tower door was open, and inside a spiral staircase wound upward. She climbed carefully, her hand brushing the rough stone wall, her footsteps echoing softly. At the top, she found a round chamber with windows on every side. The view stretched endlessly. The village below, the dark forest beyond, the winding river that shimmered like silver thread beneath the stars. She stood at one window, resting her hands on the sill, and breathed deeply of the cool night air. The stillness wrapped around her, holding her gently as though the tower itself wished to soothe her spirit. She settled onto a wooden bench by the window, pulling her cloak closer. On a small table nearby rested a candle, its flame already lit, and beside it lay a book. She opened the book slowly, its pages filled with stories of Eldenmere, tales of gentle magic, of creatures that wandered the night without fear, of dreams that came to those who listened to the whispers of the wind. She read quietly, letting the words flow through her like a calm river. The hours passed without her noticing. She read, gazed at the stars, and let her thoughts drift like leaves on water. From time to time, she closed her eyes, listening to the soft hum of the night, the distant stream, the faint music from the village, the occasional sigh of the wind through the meadow. Everything blended into one endless lullaby. At last she closed the book and set it gently aside. She leaned back against the bench, her eyelids heavy, her breathing slow. Through the open window, the moonlight fell across her face, warm and steady. The world outside continued its gentle rhythm, but Lyra was already drifting into dreams. The tower, the meadow, the village, and the night itself cradled her in safety and calm. And so, under the silver gaze of the moon, Lyra slept, wrapped in the peace of Eldenmere, a place where night was never frightening, where every sound was a lullaby, and where dreams came softly, carrying her deeper into rest.